Ripple just confirmed on live television that by the end of the year, XRP will overtake Bitcoin and that Bitcoin will reach $200,000 as well. With his UA, Ripple's CEO has verified once more that the Federal Reserve has approved the use of XRP for payments and that the company has given the U.S. federal government $10 million to start the process. Welcome back to today's video, guys. We're talking about the most recent news on the Peepo Coin channel, and we have some huge price predictions for XRP. They include $13.59 once the settlement is announced, which might not happen for another 48 hours, $157.29 per XRP when it relists on all exchanges, $2,948.34 with the Ripple IPO and bank partners, and $59,238.21 with global CBDC integration on the Peepo Coin channel. Since the official start of Ripple's IPO is today, we are concentrating on $2,940.34. In actuality, on April 30th, 2025, ProShares Trust's XRP ETF is scheduled to go public. Furthermore, XRP has already surged to $50.17 on international platforms, notably in South Korea. Naturally, this is just the beginning of the enormous bull run that will coincide with XRP's sharp price rise to surpass $2,940.34. But first, we're giving you guys some free XRP before you watch today's video. Literally everyone who watches this video can receive up to $100 in free XRP. All you need to do is hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel using your press alerts. It literally takes us 5 minutes. After completing that, you need to register on a fold using the link in the description and complete a transaction. Once that is finished, you can use any amount, 1 penny, $1, or $10. But as long as you use my link in the description and complete a transaction, you will essentially receive up to $100, which you can use to accumulate even more XRP. This is an excellent chance, and because it's essentially free money, I heartily endorse it. And the price of XRP could be in the tens of thousands of dollars, but you never know. Having said that, let's dive straight into the video. Today's video begins with the price of XRP at $2.08, then nearly $2.09, and finally at 1.80%. Naturally, we must start our discussion of XRP with this clip, which is the exact title of today's film and confirms the price prediction made by the CEO of Ripple themselves. So let's move forward, then roll the clip. Tariff: we're betting on where the globe will be in 3 years, not what will happen in the next 6 months. Palooza. I'm not sure exactly what will happen with the tariffs. A year ago, would you have made that purchase? Absolutely not. As you can see, the US SEC and even other Biden administration components were the targets of a concerted assault by numerous agencies. Now we're discovering that more and more, as you pointed out in your opening, the IRS had anti-crypto regulations that were illogical. It hardly makes sense for a bank to even be involved in this sector, and banks were not even permitted to hold cryptocurrency in a reasonable manner without having an equivalent offset to their balance sheet. It is a legitimate industry. Customers weren't being listened to by that administration. The voters' voice and desires were not being heard. Now there is a noticeable shift in all areas. A year ago, such an acquisition wouldn't have made sense, but now it makes a lot of sense. It's just incredible. I'm thinking about you and wondering if it was 2 or 3 years ago. How long have you all been subjected to this lawsuit?
December 22nd.
2020. 4.5 years then. What's going to happen here? I asked myself as we were conversing, and you're kind of on the brink of something. Finally vanishing. Definitely. Additionally, it benefits XRP and Ripple, but it also benefits the entire industry. We oppose the outsourcing of these industries. And the last 4 years have been nearly the exact opposite. We believe that pushing them to offshore corporations is safer. You know, what is your workforce size? Let's let others know how many people you have working for you. We currently employ over 1,100 people as a result of our acquisition. That's amazing. These are well-paying positions. Additionally, as you and I have already discussed, during the 4 years of the Biden administration, we hired more people abroad than domestically. I would like to employ folks from Kansas, where I grew up as a U.S. citizen. Even though we have some of the world's top talent here, investing in a market where we couldn't attract clients didn't make sense. We were unable to observe the benefits of a more improved and straightforward cross-border payment settlement for banks. These technologies have the potential to significantly improve consumer experiences and enterprises, but we must be able to reach these audiences. It was more than 10 years ago, I believe, that the Winklevoss brothers were turned down for trying to create an exchange-traded fund ETF that would have allowed investors to purchase Bitcoin. Now that we have so many of those, and this week an XRP ETF was introduced, isn't that right? Although it hasn't gone live in the US yet, we've had, I believe, 11 separate applications to launch an ETF here in the US. It is traded outside of the United States. This has been long overdue and represents a step toward a safer, more formalized method of market participation. We spent $1.25 billion this week to acquire Hidden Road, which is referred to as a premier broker. And this makes it possible for even bigger organizations, like BlackRock, the largest financial institution on Wall Street, to enter this market in a way that makes sense to them. They have a larger balance sheet and a safer prime broker to assist clear transactions. It benefits the entire industry. In light of this, your final conclusion on the trade war is that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency have long been portrayed as a hedge against various worries about the dollar's decline. It's a hedge against cratering the currencies of whoever's country hasn't fully come into play, as Larry Fink stated on this network's show around a year ago. The value of the dollar has been declining extremely sharply over the last 5 or 6 days. As of this morning, it was actually still going strong, having hit 3-year lows versus the euro and 10-year lows against the Swiss franc. Crypto is currently rising, but it fluctuates a lot. What influences cryptocurrency prices? I wish I had a clear response to that query. That is driven by many elements, just like any market. During a time when some of the tariff dynamics were taking place, cryptocurrency was obviously outperforming the stock indexes. However, some individuals thought it would be more like gold. We're witnessing record highs. People are still finding out how that will work out, in my opinion. The long-term benefits of this will be obvious, in my opinion. It serves as an inflation hedge. The more utility we are able to generate in the cryptocurrency markets, the more value will be added to that market. I'm going to ask and pressure you, even though I'm not sure whether you do this. What is your desired Bitcoin price? Because as I previously stated, the founder of the Cardano blockchain projected 250,000 by the end of the year. I'll forecast Bitcoin, you know. XRP is not what I would predict. It is too near home. However, I don't think 200,000 is out of the question. I think you're 175 around there before I've even spoken it. I believe that many misunderstand the shift from headwinds and animosity to tailwinds in the United States, the world's greatest economy. The biggest asset managers in the world went from being largely closed off or antagonistic to a friendly market with reasonable regulation that is considering pro-innovation here. And I believe that people are still underestimating how important that is to have the biggest economy in the world. Now that you have listened and seen every tape, there is no reason for me to show you the remaining ones. However, we do want to discuss Binance's confirmation of $600 per XRP and its strong emphasis on the XRP ledger use case, which is what will actually propel XRP forward. Guys, consider this: the XRP ledger is booming. By the end of 2025, it is actually expected to facilitate between $30 and $50 trillion, and the Curative Trading Fund Payment Awards framework, which is led by the CTF Payment Awards token, has the potential to rise from its current value of 55 cents to over $740.50. This indicates that for every several $100s in the CTF token, tens of thousands of dollars were created. Again, I'm not a financial expert. I'm simply conducting research, but this is something